Hey Sagittarius, welcome to your weekly reading. It's going to be a reading here from April 28th until May 4th. I hope you're doing well. We're just going to go ahead and get started here and jump straight in. This is interesting already. You pulled the Empress here for the overall energy. And the reason why I think it's interesting because we do step into this week with a new moon in Taurus. And the Empress does connect to Taurus. The Empress is just the archetype of Venus, but Venus does rule Taurus. But the interesting thing though too is that Venus comes into Aries on April 30th, and then we have Venus in Aries conjuncting Neptune in Aries on May 2nd. So yeah, the Venus energy is very active, right? Very active at this time. And Venus has a lot to do with creation, of course, relationships. It deals a lot with pleasure, being satisfied, creation. And then we have also this week Uranus sextiling the North Node. Uranus and Taurus sextile that North Node in Pisces, and then we have Pluto that goes retrograde on May 4th. So talk about a very interesting week. I think I've been saying this about every week, but it really does feel the astrology is getting more and more interesting and always gets more and more interesting. But yeah, a lot to deal with creative energy, new things that are trying to be created, new things that are wanting almost spiritually and soulfully and emotionally to be created. And you could almost feel the heaviness of it, like the divine is trying to push something new into your life, but you're having to make space for it. Yeah, that just resonated hard, I know. Because even if we think about where this new moon will be in Taurus, it'll be in the nakshatra Barney, right? So Barney is something new that wants to be birthed, right? But it's like you have to really do the necessary work and create and have the necessary guidelines for you to receive it, for it to be created. And not only that, Uranus that's in Taurus sextiling the North Node in Pisces. This is interesting too because Uranus sextiling that North Node, Uranus is also in Taurus, so it's trying to open us up to new ways to create. So that way we can increase the prosperity in our life. That way we can make our life more beautiful. And then the North Node in Pisces is all about the spiritual substance. Taurus deals with the materials. This is the material and the spiritual substance trying to be all infused into one beautiful creation. And then Venus that comes into Aries, Aries really being a sign that really defines things, right? Because even if you think about Aries, you think about the first house, right? The ascendant. It's like the ascendant is where, it's the birth. So all these new things are trying to happen. And the Venus conjunct Neptune is just these new visions, new ideals here in which we're going to be feeling very inspired to create. So there's a lot of creativity, a lot of inspiration, a lot of newer ideals in which we're going to want to create and receive when it comes to our relationships, with our work, right? And how we can find ways to enjoy ourselves. So we'll come back to the reading here in a second. You pulled this Sirius card. It says nurture. I wonder where Sirius is at in the astrology. I can't remember off the top of my head, but Sirius does deal with nurturing. I think Sirius is about really taking what it is that you have and, seeing what you already have in your life that's beautiful, but also getting rid of the things that aren't adding value to your life, but using what it is that you have to cultivate more prosperity and growth for yourself. So, and I really see you, really taking the metaphorical, scythe here and really being like, okay, what's not good in my life that I need to get rid of, and what as well do I have that I can use to, build more or to create more here. Let's see. You pulled let love be your guide, live a life guided from love. Or live a life from love, guided by love here. Yeah, let's see here. You pulled this 6th chakra card. It says visualization here. Well, I mean, that 6th chakra will be activated this week because Neptune does connect to the 6th chakra, and Venus will come into Aries and conjunct Neptune. So Neptune deals with ideals, imagination. You can also say creativity as well. And so there's a lot of new things that our perception is expanding into, our awareness is expanding into. And so all these new things, it's time to like create those things, and allow yourself to step into it and to create things that you love. You have the Empress here for the overall energy here for you this week. Yeah, I mean, I think this week is all about giving birth to something new, right? Or giving birth to something in your life, creating something, right? That's prosperous here, right? Focusing on your abundance, making your life the most beautiful you can make it, right? Enjoying your life, right? Finding the deeper satisfaction with the things that you have in your life. You have the Queen of Swords here in your current energy at this time. I think you're getting serious here. You're getting serious here, Sag. The Queen of Swords, I see you very much in your truth, speaking your truth, being honest, and being upfront. And the Queen of Swords encourages you not to be rude, right? But it is about being stern and just being upfront and communicating what needs to be communicating, right? But I think you're getting very strong clarity and confirmation with how you would like to proceed forward with things. I think you're getting these answers here, or these deeper understandings, which brings me to the King of Swords as your advice. The King of Swords says you got your understanding, you got your clarity. Now it's time to really take action on these things. You have the knowledge, you have the wisdom, you have the experience. The King of Swords says, use the power of your mind here. There's a big, I don't even think you realize what you're capable of. I'm not just saying that. I don't even think you realize what you're capable of. Maybe you do, but I think you may even shock yourself down the line here. But you'll never know unless you really level up or step into that, what you actually want to be and become, or what how you would like to level up. You pulled the 10 of Cups here in your challenge position here. Yeah, I mean, 10 of Cups is the dreams, it's the ideals, it's the vision, it's Neptune, it's Venus conjunct Neptune. It's just glorious new thing that we're wanting to obtain and create in our life, but it's in the challenge. Like, the 10 of Cups is just the imagination. It's in the imagination, but it's like, how do we make it real, concrete? King of Swords, that's your advice. So I think your challenge is just like really trying to bring it all together. Trying to create that well-rounded, complete, full life. You have the 10 of Cups as well. The challenge can be family, so maybe that could be somewhat of a challenge here for you. And I think if that's the case, I think it's a good here, King of Swords, Queen of Swords, to have clear communication and boundaries. That may be something here that you have to do. But I think for you in general, I think you're getting clear with your communication and creating your own boundaries with things, so that way you can create the space for that new thing to be birthed. Because that's the archetype of so the new moon being in Taurus here this week is in like I said, it's in the nakshatra Barney. And Barney is like something new that wants to be birthed and created. Right, and it can feel heavy with the responsibility of what it's gonna take. But having to be responsible too. Right, Barney's also a sign too that punishes evil and rewards good. So, divinely speaking, if you're doing bad shit, you might want to be aware of that. But if you're doing good shit, then I think you'll have good karma. You pulled the 7 of Wands here in the future position. I like the 7 of Wands here. I think you're finding strength, courage, and conviction, feeling more motivated. The 7 of Wands is Mars and Leo. Mars and Leo is in your 9th house. So when it comes to you feeling really strong about your beliefs and your philosophy, and really wanting to be of benefit to other people, be a role model to people, be a guide and a teacher and a mentor for people, I think you're really finding more power and strength here, and really taking the lead with these things. You pulled the Judgment card here in the position of the outcome here. Now the Judgment card is Pluto. Pluto goes retrograde on the 4th. And so you're going to feel this deeper urgency with this Judgment card to take action on things that you've been ignoring. You have the 8 of Cups here in the position of something you're unaware of, that you need to be aware of. The 8 of Cups is a card that does deal with wandering. Like, sometimes it's good to wander. I think that's what that North Node in Pisces is trying to teach us. but we can't wander forever. It's like at some point we have to, like, take concrete action to start defining things. Clarify the Empress here for the overall energy. You pulled the Strength card here. Yeah. One thing I also see too for you this week is that I think you're going to feel more calm. I didn't mean to say calm, but I think maybe you're going to feel more calm, but more confident when it comes to understanding your worth and having a strong sense of self-esteem, to where you're really ready to level up here and you trust yourself and you know you're worthy. Now, let's just say, for instance, you may not feel that, right? Let's just say you don't feel that. Well, the Empress and the Strength card is wanting you to have courage, like to have courage, like you're good enough. And prosperity is your divine birthright. Abundance is your divine birthright, the Empress. So it's about standing firm in who you are, owning your worth, owning your value, and having the courage here to start really defining and creating things that are beautiful for you. Clarify the Queen of Swords and your current energy. Pull the King of Wands here. I like this King of Wands as well with this Queen of Swords. I almost kind of sense here that you're really you're ready. I think you're ready here, Sag. King of Wands, you're a trailblazer. You have a lot of charisma. You're someone that has vision. And now the Queen of Swords being here is like you're getting strong clarification about what that looks like and the ways in which you can move forward with it. Clarify the Ten of Cups in your challenge. You pull the Page of Swords here. Clarify the King of Swords as your advice. The Moon card. You're definitely being encouraged here not to play small. Page of Swords, Ten of Cups. Damn, I gotta say this to a Sag. I'm gonna say it. Page of Swords, Ten of Cups is, it's like you're looking in all these. Page of Swords compared to the King of Swords. King of Swords' is field of perception is way more expanded. The Page of Swords is when it's more limited, restricted. Ten of Cups is you're trying to find happiness in this restrictive area, in this restrictive, based off what it is that you already know. I feel Spirit's wanting you to open up to something bigger. King of Swords, the Moon card, right? To face the fear as well, what that bigger thing is. Also, too, I'll be real. Page of Swords, Ten of Cups can be, trying to keep the peace. But the King of Swords, the Moon card, says, confront what needs to be confronted. But King of Swords as well. And I will say another thing too. Page of Swords, Ten of Cups in the challenge could be, it could be too good to be true energy, right? To where we can slip into an illusion of fantasy. The King of Swords, the Moon card, is actually having strong discernment and not falling into deception, but being smart, being wise, being discerning. Right? So if it's too good to be true, then I would just, I would be aware of it. Clarify the Seven of Wands. You pulled the Devil card here. I don't think this Devil card is bad. If anything, Seven of Wands, the Devil, you're overcoming your own limitation and restrictions, whether that's bad habits, whether that's negative beliefs, anything that has just been binding you and keeping you stuck from rising up. I see you wanting to break free from that. Now, I also think here the Seven of Wands, the Devil, is you finding more discipline and restriction. And I'm going to say rules here. It's like you're following your own rules about what it's going to take for you to establish and build and produce what it is that you're trying to do. I'm going to be real too. Like, this energy is like energy that you're learning too and that you're dealing with, right? So like the Devil card, Seven of Wands, is in the future. Like there's going to be days when you don't feel like doing shit. There's going to be days when, let's just say, for instance, you're wanting to get in shape or you're wanting to be more healthy, but then there's days where you slack off or you want to slack off or you want to break your routine or you want to break, you don't want to do something that you should do. And so the Seven of Wands, the Devil, is like one of those archetypes that you're working on and building and developing and sustaining when it comes to staying on track with things and having to be disciplined. Clarify the Judgment and the outcome. You pulled the Five of Pentacles here. with the Queen of Wands here, I see you moving on from something here, but I think you're well aware of what this is, and I think you're actually happy and, I was going to say proud. You're happy and proud to leave something behind because it doesn't add to the quality of your life. So I think this Judgment, Five of Pentacles, Queen of Wands is you trusting your heart to leap into a bigger sense of transformation or to make a big decision here to let go of something so that way you can move towards something, or at least make a decision here to bring yourself out of a miserable situation or bring yourself out of a situation that's not ideal for you. And you're having the courage here with the Judgment card to step into a bigger purpose or to step into something bigger here. Clarify the Eight of Cups. You pulled the Hierophant. Yeah, while you're wandering here on your journey, the Hierophant says, the Hierophant says it's very important for you to live true to your own beliefs, your principles, and your values here, and to not wander from those things. Also that's it. Yeah, I already said it. So overall, I think this week is you really wanting to really level up, step into your confidence, you finding your courage here to be who you are, right? Step into your worth, know your worth, and start creating from that place of worthiness. And you're having a clear understanding and a vision about your future. And I think here that Spirit's just overall this week wanting you to have discernment and not fall into illusions and stay grounded, Seven of Wands, the Devil, disciplined, and on top of your game here, because the decision will come, the time will come with the Judgment to where it'll be a divine time type of moment, and whether or not you're ready for it will all be dependent on whether or not you stayed on top of your game. So that's what I got for you, Sag. I'm wishing you the best. If you want to book a personal reading with me, the link is down below in the description. Again, my reads, they're on sale except for the mini reads. There's only 3 left last time I checked with the mini reads. So if you want one, be sure to get it before it's gone. And yeah, I'm gonna leave the video here. Wishing you the best, and I will see you later.